Krakow Report. Mr. Simon, hosting it. Like I said, this is the first report from Krakow. Let me turn the music down so you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Check, check. All right, so this is kind of a letter home, letter to mom and dad, just to show them what I'm seeing on the news, how life in Krakow looks for me, and what's happening in the news and how that affects me as an American. So I thought we would start today with a show. So this is TVP is the state-run TV show. Whoever's got the majority in the government gets control of this broadcasting network. TPT World, I guess, is the international affairs, and I've never seen this show before, and I just discovered it. Break the Fake, which I had, of course, disinformation from the Russians has been very common, and it gets worse and worse every year. Of course, we've known this. This part of Europe understands this, and many of the countries, especially the former Soviet states, a lot of them have active debunking units within their government. They have shows like this where they will take a conspiracy theory and break it apart or break the fake news. And until I saw this just the other night, I could see no evidence that Poland had any counter propaganda campaigns happening at all. So I'm pleased that this is on. It is TVP World, though. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Fox News, but it's it's decidedly biased. And I'm wondering what direction these fake news stories are going to go. So let's check it out here. Hang on. I've never seen this guy before. He's got a funny accent. He looks Asian. I'm not sure why they picked an Asian guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling.
Benjamin Lee, I guess.
So another high-profile Kremlin propaganda myth has just collapsed. And this one didn't even outlast the lifespan of a housefly. On July 3rd, Russian dictator Vladimir...
What was that? He didn't outlast... So his little... his little quips are very odd. Didn't outlast a bottle of house wine? What did he say?
Didn't even outlast the lifespan of a housefly.
On
July 3rd, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin solemnly declared the alleged complete capture of the city of Konstantinivka.
It's like, all right, so his use of the frou-frou bunny ears. He's
solemnly declared the alleged complete capture of the city of Konstantinivka and the Donetsk region. The announcement came right after a closed-door at nighttime briefing from Valery Gerasimov, the chief of the general staff of the Russian armed forces, who had apparently captured the city on paper and was generously thanked by the dictator for his heroism.
Yeah, so basically, Putin has congratulated one of his generals for taking a city. They'll keep capturing these territories, but they can't hold them. So they'll capture territory, they'll capture cities, and then they leave the next day, and this just keeps happening over and over and over again. So blah blah blah, and he's like, "Oh, we are so proud of our comrades, and great supreme sacrifice."
Тоже укрепленная, конечно, дружковка.
But as usual with Putin's victory reports, reality, as it turned out, hadn't received the memo. Ukrainian President Volodymyr
Reality hadn't received the memo. Yeah, so he's not buying it.
Zelensky immediately dismissed the latest Kremlin statement, saying the dictator had simply decided to lie to the world and to the President of the United States on the eve of U.S. Independence Day nonetheless, just to produce at least one piece of victory news. Zelensky even called Putin's bluff, saying that if he truly believes Konstantinivka is occupied, he is welcome to hold direct talks with the Ukrainian leadership there. In reality, despite some tactical gains by Russian forces in the Donetsk region, they had no control over Konstantinivka whatsoever. The entire Russian presence in the city at the time of Putin's dramatic announcement reportedly consists of scattered groups of saboteurs who just periodically found themselves surrounded by Ukrainian positions. But for Gerasimov, who urgently need to sell Putin some kind of success before the American holiday, a handful of saboteurs hiding in a basement somehow become full control of the city. The story of the capture of Konstantinivka became yet another reminder of how the Russian command feeds fabricated stories of victory to his dictator, and how he then tries to sell those same stories to the rest of the world. Zelensky's invitation to meet in a supposedly liberated city instantly exposed the gap between Kremlin and showing up where that victory
blah, 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 blah. What do you got next? Oh, so we gotta watch an ad now, because sorry, I don't have the premium version. Easy printable Tai Chi for seniors. This is the bubble I'm in. Are you over 40? Ha ha ha, that's perfect.
Field. Filling up a car has become a cross between
gas
emergency
prices,
rationing and cross-border smuggling.
They call it petrol here, and yeah, it's 6 zlotys a liter. Somebody out there can do the math for me. I don't know how that translates to dollars per gallon. Yeah, Ukraine has been attacking Russian oil infrastructure, and they are rationing gasoline. They are closing gas stations. There are 1970s style lines to get gasoline in many areas, and especially in Moscow and St. Petersburg.
As oil refineries continue to suffer the consequences of encounters with Ukrainian drones, regions across the Russian Federation are resorting to increasingly absurd measures to ensure that fuel continues to flow. In the Krasnodar region, authorities have officially recruited heroes of the special military operation to help maintain order at gas stations.
Okay, security.
Kuban officials have instructed
security. So Donald Trump
Движение направляем автомобили по заправкам, потому что у каждой машины есть особенности. Слева бак, справа бак. Колонки тоже, как вы видите, слева, справа.
While the Kuban is policing gas stations, another trend is taking off across the Russian Federation.
What's that?
Gasoline tourism. Russians are increasingly crossing into neighboring countries just to fill up their tanks, creating fuel shortages on the other side of the border. Dozens of advertisements have appeared in chat groups where enterprising dealers offer to drive Russian cars across the borders into the Chinese city of Manchuria for the sole purpose of
here in Poland.
И вот актуальные цены на топливо.
I don't know what that is. Okay. Siphoning gas. What's going on there?
In the myth of the Russian energy superpower. When citizens of a country that once boasted the largest oil reserves are forced to secretly wheel on extra tanks to smuggle a little fuel out of Kazakhstan or drive their cars to China, it's clear that Russia's fuel system have been destroyed, and even its propaganda is running out of gas. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.
So, like I said, this was a couple of nights ago. I'm not sure what's happened since then, but there have been a couple more episodes, and I'm anxious to see how well they do with the fake news. So, until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side. Let's see here. Take care, everybody.